I'm Bill Kitson, the curator, or the ex-curator of the Surveying and Mapping Museum in Brisbane. About 25 years ago, I was fortunate enough to be able to start this museum. You know, generally people don't realise that the debt they actually owe to our early Queensland surveyors, or Australian surveyors for that matter, because you need a surveyor before you can virtually start anything else. Surveyors design and lay out towns, they locate roads, they make harbour plans of harbours and ports. We make maps for general use in the land system for farms, to subdivide farms and things like that. Queensland surveying history starts 1839 when the Surveyor General of New South Wales, Thomas Mitchell, sent up 3 surveyors to Moreton Bay to open up the area for free settlement. So surveyors Dixon, Stapleton and Warner arrived in Moreton Bay to carry out surveys in preparation for free settlement. Their initial job was to do feature surveys. In other words, they had to survey down the rivers and ranges so that we could make maps that showed these rivers and ranges in relation to everything else, because these rivers and ranges formed the boundaries of our parishes, that is our land tenure system. While they were there, they actually had to ascertain from the Aboriginal people the derivation of their place names. Mitchell said, ascertain the feature names from the local Aboriginals and put them on your map. He didn't say you could put them on your map, it was an order. And that's why a lot of our early survey plans contain the Aboriginal derivations of ranges and rivers. Initially, we gained all our surveyors from either England, Ireland, or the Indian survey, the Geodetic Survey of India. They came out to Queensland. Then we actually started to train our own. It was an on-the-job sort of thing. You learnt through your master surveyor. You got apprenticed, in lack of a better word. We have an indenture in the museum here of about 2 pages long that says it's a legal document, this indenture, signed between the master surveyor, the pupil surveyor, and the father of the pupil surveyor. And in this indenture it gives the agreement. The master surveyor shall teach the student, he's bound to do that, and teach him all his techniques and feed him and clothe him and house him. The father had to pay great wads of money, that was his part of the agreement, huge amount of money to have his son trained. And the young pupil surveyor, of course, had to be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, sober in habit. All these sort of things are written in this agreement. The instruments that these surveyors used, of course, in the first place were simply a compass on a tripod. We call that a circumferenter. That gave a magnetic direction of the line or the boundary you were running, and a gunter's chain, 100 links in a chain consisting of 100 separate wire links, 1 link long, 22 yards, 1 cricket pitch, a chain. That's the old form of English measurement that was invented in about 1625 by Dr. Gunter. So those were the basic tools that surveyors went and slayed the jungle with. They also used a wheel, a perambulator, out west. This wheel they pushed all over the country, getting the boundaries. Some of those properties out there had boundaries 20 miles long. And so this instrument wasn't terribly accurate, but accurate enough for the type of country they were going through. Later on, of course, when you get out on the western country, there's no natural features, there's no ranges, so the lines out there are lines of latitude and longitude, which have to be pegged also by surveyors using big geodetic theodolites and doing astronomy to get the positions of these mileposts, and that's how they actually surveyed all the way up to Cameron's Corner. One of the most interesting surveys carried out by our surveyors, of course, were the colonial boundaries. When Queensland became a separate colony in 1859, the boundaries or borders were described by the letters patent on a piece of paper. No use to anybody till you actually had a surveyor go out in the field and place marks on the ground. So initially surveyor Robertson Rowland started at Point Danger in 1863 and worked their way along the watersheds behind Binnaburra and O'Reilly's, placing these wooden posts that we have in the museum here. The debt that Queensland owes these early surveyors is quite immense. Without the maps and plans, you couldn't actually plan anything or achieve anything, towns or industries or farms. Surveying brings all of this material together. It's a coordinating system. In fact, that's the role surveyors play today. We coordinate development.